Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from PixieCrafter.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You can shop my online store 24/7. The link is in the description bar below, or you can head on over to PixieCrafter.com for more project ideas and inspiration. Welcome to Tips and Techniques Tuesday. I've got a fun little video for you today using the new embossing paste from Stampin' Up! I love this stuff. I am a mixed media artist and this is just fantastic. This has my heart. And there's so many things that you can do with this embossing paste. So today I'm going to show you how to make your own glitter embossing paste. So these are the 3 glitters that you can get from Stampin' Up! We've got dazzling diamonds, gold, and silver. Lots of fun things that you can do just with the glitter. And these are the containers they come in. I don't store mine in these containers. I like to have them in bigger containers like this. It's easier for me to work with them and having little spoons in those. And I get the containers and the spoons from the dollar store, so very inexpensive. Alright, so I've got just a scoop of each of the glitters in these containers. So we get to fill it up with embossing paste. Now let me mention something about the embossing paste. It is 4 ounces by volume that comes in each of these containers. However, during the shipping process, the storing process, all of that, you may see that your embossing paste has kind of compressed a little bit. So sometimes when you open it up, it looks like there's not as much in here as you think there should. It's okay. Trust me. All you have to do is kind of like whip it up a little bit and it'll come back to life. It does not in any way affect how you're going to use the embossing paste. Use it the same way and it's fine, but it will start to shrink down a little bit. As long as it's not drying, you're okay. And they do put it in the wide mouth so that it's easier for you to get in and use the embossing paste. You're also going to need a palette knife of some sort. So you can just stir it around, whip it up, and then you'll see it's like, oh, okay, all right, it's all good now, it's all good. Alright, so this is so simple. All we're going to do is add some embossing paste to each of these. We're going to mix them up, and then we are able to go ahead and have our embossing paste, our glitter embossing paste. So I'm just going to pop a little bit in each one. I don't want to go too crazy with this. I have not yet experimented with how well these containers are going to keep this from drying out, so I don't want to have too much and then just have it dry out in here and then not be able to use it. Plus, you use such a small amount of embossing paste on your projects. It's kind of like embossing powder. It only takes a little bit. So this tub can last you quite some time as long as you're not like going crazy and covering an entire sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock and all that, which you can, absolutely. Alright, next I'm just going to mix these bad boys up. You can use popsicle sticks for this if you want to, but get a good mix. You can really customize how much glitter you're going to want in each one of these, but it's so pretty. I love the dazzling diamonds. It is by far like one of my favorite glitters of all time. It has this like nice little, I don't even know if you can see it on the camera. It's like a pastel rainbow sort of effect. Kind of holographic. It reminds me of like unicorn. If you love unicorns and mermaids, like this is the perfect glitter for you because it is just gorgeous. Now, alright, I'm going to get that all off and I'm going to try to scoop it all down because it's these thinner bits that are going to dry up faster. So there we go. We have our dazzling diamond embossing paste. Now I've got a wet wipe. I'm going to go ahead and clean it off. As I don't particularly mind if my glitter gets cross-contaminated, but let's keep it as pure as we can. Now you're probably going to see it a lot more, the whole magic of it with the silver, because you can see the silver a little bit better. It shows up against the embossing powder. But this is as easy as that. Now, can you do this with other things? Go ahead and pre-make different embossing paste mixes. Absolutely. Add some of your ink refills to this and go ahead and, you know, get those going up. Have a whole rainbow of embossing paste, whatever refills you have, just a couple drops, and then you can really customize how deep of a color you want. So if you only add like a drop or so, you're going to have more of a pale, probably more of a pastel-y sort of color. But if you go and you add a few more drops, then you're going to have more of a solid, true to tone color. So those are fun too. And now we've just got our gold to mix up. I am so excited to use these on a project. You can use these with stencils, or you can just kind of like spread them across the paper so you can have a nice little like swath of textured texture on your card, your scrapbook page, your canvas. If you're a mixed media artist. Just so much fun. I can't wait, you know, for Christmas to come, especially with this gold. Like, really? Gold embossing paste? Gorgeous! Alright, so there we go. And it's easy. It's easy as that. So now let's go ahead and try these out a little bit. Let me get some cardstock and we will have some fun. Alright, so I've just grabbed my silicone sheet and 3 pieces of basic black cardstock. They are 4 1/4 by 1 3/4. So just scrap pieces that I had hanging around. So let's go ahead and get these all glittered up. So much fun. Now I'm just going to swipe these over just so that you can, you know, have a nice broad idea of the type of effect that you can get. But you can also use these with stencils, absolutely. But this is kind of fun too. Alright, I'm going to bring you in a little closer so you can see this a little better. So I've just got a stamp. I've got my embossing paste, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp onto it. I'm putting a good amount of pressure to it, but not too much. And it's just going to leave just kind of like a nicer, soft little impression Just adding just a little bit of texture. This is kind of a more mixed media sort of effect. Just, you want to add texture and layers and get that dimension going without going too crazy with it. And I'm using the In This World stamp set for this. It's a wonderful little set that's great for like textures and all of that. And the embossing paste is starting to dry, so this is definitely something like if you want a deeper impression, do it while it's still pretty wet, because right now like that area it's dry, so it's not taking that anymore. So yeah, that could be a fun little, it's kind of like a wax seal sort of effect, and you can do this with your embossing powders as well, and that's a whole lot of fun. You see there's just that nice little subtle texture going on, so I love that. Alright, so let's let these dry and then we will see all the finished yummy goodness. Alright, everything is all dry now, so look at that. Just a nice shimmery effect, so you can totally like go crazy and get it all covering a piece. There is some flexibility to it, you see that? So it's kind of a way to make your own glimmer paper. Keep in mind you are working with glitter. It's going to get everywhere because that's the nature of glitter. You're going to find glitter in places where you're like, how did this get here? Like in your couch cushions and stuff. Don't ask me how. It just happens, okay? Because glitter's kind of like a virus. It gets everywhere. Alright, but yeah, that is just a wonderful bit of glimmer. I did put it on the basic black, so that's going to give it a look to it, so that's fun. It is kind of more of a smooth texture, like I can feel the glitter, but it's not like a rough, I don't feel like I can use this as sandpaper, so that can be nice on your projects and just having fun with that. So think of all the possibilities. And then here we have this one where I actually used one of the stencils with the silver. Love that. And again, you're changing up the cardstock color. It's going to change up the look of this as well. I just wanted to have something where it was really going to stand out and be amazing. And glitter never comes off quite as pretty on film and pictures and stuff like that, but it's got just a wonderful shimmer, but it's more of like an embedded shimmer instead of like all the bling that you would get if it was just laying on top of it. So gorgeous, gorgeous. And then I am kind of loving this. Like, I know you can't really see or tell like what's embedded in there, but I just love it. And I love the dazzling diamonds. This never comes off quite as pretty, but this is gorgeous. I love this. I'm going to have to do a lot more with this technique because that's just fun. So now these are perfectly sized to go on the card front of an A2 size card. Add a sentiment and something fun. So you know what? Let's go ahead and at least make one card with this. Alright, so I've gone into my scrap bin. Alright, I've got a card base. This is Whisper White Thick. Love this for card bases. I scored it at 5.5. It's 4 1/4 by 11. So there you go. It's a nice, fun top folding card. This is something that I've done in a previous video. So whenever you've lost your mojo, so to speak, and you just want to get in your craft room and try to get creative or at least do something, making your own little sentiment strips. So this is one from there. You can look back in my videos if you want to see all the other ideas that I have for DIY sentiment tags. This is from the Lift Me Up stamp set and the Up and Away. Let me grab that Up and Away framelit. Alright, so it's that balloon there, stamped in Marina Mist, and then ran it through with the coordinating die from the Up and Away thinlits, framelits, the dies. So that's on Whisper White there. This is Island Indigo. And now I've got Timeless Textures, and I've got the paint splatter, and we're going to use our basic black ink with that. I've got some of the watercolor pencils. You can get the full size, But these actually came in the April Paper Pumpkin kit. There were 4 of the little mini ones, so here's the full size. I'm going to go ahead and use the mini ones because I have them, but they're the same colors. So we've got Melon Mambo and Daffodil Delight, my blender pen. So I'm just going to scribble a little watercolor pencil. Alright, so I've got my watercolor pencils, just gone crazy on there. And now I'm just going to take my blender pen, just work it across. I want it to look like it's just a nice, casual watercolor wash. Nothing too crazy. If you were doing this with on watercolor paper, I would say go with the Aqua Painter. But on the actual cardstock, I do prefer the blender pens. I feel like they give the less warping. All right, I want those to blend just a little bit better, melt into each other, be a little bit more organic and not so scribbly. Just going to go back in with just a little bit more. Alright, so it might not look like much now, but once everything gets together, it's going to be okay. Alright, and now I'm going to take our little ink splatter with our basic black, and I'm going to kind of pop on a little bit, just like that. Just get a little bit more textured interest going on. I'm going to lead the eye a little bit more. I think I want to add a little bit of Melon Mambo splatters too. Nothing too crazy. Just trying to soften everything up. Let's get some Daffodil Delight splatters going too. Sometimes when in doubt, just keep adding layers until it looks like what you pictured in your head, or at least as close as it can be. There we go. I like how that's just giving it just a little bit of extra softness and dimension. Looks a little bit more like a finished piece to me. Okay, now we are just going to grab our liquid glue, our Tombow. You can also use snail for this if you want, but I'm actually out of snail. I've got to wait for my next order to come in. Alright, just going to pop that there. I love this combination. I love having like a lot of black with like a lot of color. I just feel like it grounds it just so well, so much more. Now this I want to have just kind of right here. Oh, I'm going to need to grab a dimensional. I'm going to put it on the back of this guy here. It's just going to be kind of floating just like that. Oh, there we go. That is it. That is all I'm going to do with the card. Just kind of quick and simple and let it all, speak for itself. Oh, alrighty. Alright, so let's recap. What did we learn today? We learned that we can mix glitter with our embossing paste and get some fun and exciting new effects to it. That is wonderful. We learned that we can spread it all on a piece of paper. We can stamp into it. We can use it with stencils. Lots of fun goodness. And we can put together quick cards. So all of this is stuff that I had in my scrap bin. So my little sentiment, this I made up, that was from a previous project, an extra. So just, putting on a quick watercolor background, some texture stamping, and then putting it all together. So when in doubt, go ahead and pre-make some stuff. Like if you don't have a specific project but you're wanting to get into your craft room, go ahead and stamp up a whole bunch of, hot air balloons or whatever, hearts, flowers, You know, just have stuff on hand. You know, background pieces, bases, like do some watercolor stuff and have them ready to go. And have fun with your embossing paste. There's so much you can do with it. There's still more I have to show you with the embossing paste. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, so that is it for today's Tips and Techniques Tuesday. I hope this helped you out and get more familiar with the embossing paste. Remember, a full list of the products I use can be found in the description bar, along with links to pixiecrafter.com and my online store. You can sign up for the Pixie Crafter newsletter. Just head on over to pixiecrafter.com and go up and hit the birthdays and newsletter tab, and if you are a U.S. resident, you can also sign up for my birthday club. In your birthday month, I will send you a handmade birthday card from me as a show of appreciation for supporting my small business. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And that is it. Alright, until next time, happy crafting. Bye!